The world of basketball is no stranger to intense rivalries and passionate emotions. Still, when a rising star like Caitlin Clark, known for her sharpshooting and record-breaking performances, is named to the All-WNBA First Team and crowned Rookie of the Year, it can shake up the entire landscape of the sport. Chennedy Carter, a young WNBA player known for her fiery personality and competitive edge, made headlines for all the wrong reasons when she reacted in a rather explosive manner to Clark's achievements. This article will dive deep into the background of both players, the significance of the accolades, and the fallout from Carter's tantrum.
By the way, speaking of basketball, Caitlin Clark now has the rookie record, the history of the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark's journey from a standout high school player to one of the most talked about rookies in WNBA history has been nothing short of spectacular. Born in Des Moines, Iowa, Clark has been breaking records and turning heads from an early age. Known for her incredible shooting range, vision on the court, and ability to control the pace of the game, she quickly became a top recruit for the University of Iowa.
Clark working on Van Loo. Oh, Clark, pretty step back, hits a three!
At Iowa, Clark's performances were consistently remarkable. During her college career, she racked up accolades such as the Nancy Lieberman Award for the nation's best point guard and multiple All-American honors. She was lauded not only for her scoring ability, but also for her leadership and basketball IQ, often leading her team to victory with her clutch performances.
Lineup I'm talking about with Katie Lou Samuelson at the 4.
Clark.
Upon entering the WNBA, Caitlin Clark was immediately on the radar as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate. Her game translated seamlessly to the professional level, where she continued to amaze with her offensive prowess. Clark's ability to shoot from deep, combined with her playmaking and fearlessness on the court, made her an instant star. Her rookie season saw her setting records, making her a strong contender for Rookie of the Year, a prediction that many pundits and fans alike shared.
Clark gets away with a little push, Holloway buries it, and a little reaction.
On the other side of the story is Chennedy Carter, a player who had a promising rise in the WNBA. Carter, drafted 4th overall by the Atlanta Dream in 2020, quickly established herself as a dynamic scorer and playmaker. Her aggressive style of play and confidence in taking big shots earned her respect within the league. She was a standout player in college at Texas A&M, where she was known for her clutch performances and was a 3-time All-American.
Great job of coming up with that loose ball and converting. 6 seconds to go, opening quarter. Chennedy Carter, crossover to the rim.
However, Carter's time in the WNBA has been marked by both brilliance and controversy. While her talent is undeniable, she has also faced criticism for her attitude on and off the court. There have been reports of clashes with teammates and coaching staff, which have sometimes overshadowed her performances. Her competitive nature, while a strength on the court, has also led to some difficult situations, particularly when things don't go her way.
A little bit.
Yeah.
After
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough. We're good.
Carter, like many in the league, likely saw herself as a contender for Rookie of the Year when she entered the WNBA. With her impressive resume, it's easy to understand why she might have felt entitled to such recognition. However, when Caitlin Clark began dominating headlines and ultimately took home the award, Carter's reaction was far from gracious.
Here at Wintrust. Leads back up to double figures. How about Carter? Leaving everyone in her dust.
The WNBA Rookie of the Year award is one of the most prestigious honors a young player can earn. It signifies not only individual success, but also a promising future in the league. Caitlin Clark's selection for this award, along with being named to the All-WNBA First Team, was a testament to her impact in her first season. Her shooting, court vision, and leadership were all factors in her earning these honors.
You're seeing Caitlin Clark. And for everybody who talked about, she's just a shooter, she's already set the all-time rookie.
The announcement of Clark's accolades was met with widespread approval from fans, coaches, and players alike. Her stats backed up the decision. She averaged over 20 points per game and had several standout performances, including game-winning shots and record-setting moments. Clark was not just a scorer, but a leader on the floor, making her an obvious choice for these accolades. While most players in the WNBA were quick to congratulate Caitlin Clark for her achievements, Chennedy Carter's response was quite the opposite. As the news broke, Carter took to social media, posting cryptic messages and expressing clear frustration. It didn't take long for fans and analysts to realize that her posts were directed at Clark's accolades.
After this controversial foul on Caitlin Clark.
Unnecessary.
Clark's Indiana Fever taking on the Chicago Sky on Saturday. The Sky's Chennedy Carter hitting a shot, then heading over to Clark and shoulder checking her. The refs called it a common foul, but the league yesterday upgraded the call to a flagrant foul.
Carter's tantrum wasn't just confined to social media, though. According to reports from inside the locker room, Carter expressed her anger to teammates and coaches, questioning why she wasn't the one being recognized. Her competitive nature, which had served her well on the court, seemed to boil over into a display of entitlement and frustration. This outburst reportedly created tension within her team, and some players were said to have been uncomfortable with the way Carter handled the situation. In the age of social media, Carter's reaction quickly went viral, with fans weighing in on both sides. Some sympathized with Carter, understanding her frustration as a young player trying to establish herself in a competitive league. Others, however, criticized her for not showing sportsmanship and for failing to celebrate another player's success.
Between the last game and today is our growth. We went to film today, we locked in, we seen the good things we did, we also seen the mistakes we made, and we're just trying to grow.
Carter's outburst did not go unnoticed by the WNBA or by the basketball community at large. Many fans and analysts criticized her behavior, calling it unprofessional and unsportsmanlike. While it's common for athletes to feel disappointed when they miss out on awards or recognition, Carter's public display of frustration was seen as crossing a line. On social media, fans debated the situation. Some defended Carter, arguing that her passion for the game and competitive drive were what made her a great player. They suggested that her reaction, while perhaps not ideal, was understandable given the stakes. Others, however, felt that Carter needed to learn how to handle such disappointments with more grace and maturity.
Counted! What a move, Chennedy Carter!
The WNBA itself did not officially comment on Carter's behavior, but it was clear that the league was closely monitoring the situation. Carter's team, the Atlanta Dream, was also reportedly concerned about the impact her outburst could have on team chemistry moving forward. Carter's reaction to Caitlin Clark's accolades brings up a broader discussion about the pressures faced by young stars in the WNBA. The league is highly competitive, and for players like Carter, who are seen as the future of the league, the expectations can be overwhelming. Every player wants to be recognized for their contributions, and when that recognition doesn't come, it can lead to frustration and disappointment.
For my teammates, and if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me.
The WNBA is also a league where players are constantly compared to one another, and the media plays a significant role in shaping public perception. In this case, Carter may have felt overshadowed by the attention and praise Clark was receiving, which likely contributed to her reaction. It's a reminder that while these athletes may be stars on the court, they are also human and deal with the same emotions and insecurities as anyone else.
Good to get my feet wet, to be back in the WNBA. I think that Saturday I'm going to play with more energy, more tempo, and I'm for sure going to.
While Chennedy Carter was making headlines for her outburst, Caitlin Clark remained focused on her game. When asked about Carter's reaction during an interview, Clark handled the situation with poise and maturity. She expressed her gratitude for the recognition she received and made it clear that she respected all of her peers in the WNBA. Clark's response earned her even more admiration from fans and analysts. Her ability to rise above the drama and remain focused on her goals further solidified her status as one of the league's brightest young stars. For Clark, the accolades were a validation of her hard work, but they didn't define her. Her goal was always to help her team win and to continue growing as a player.
Nice. Boy, Enrique gave it to McCowan, who couldn't finish behind the back of...
In the wake of her outburst, Chennedy Carter faces a critical moment in her career. While her talent is undeniable, her behavior has raised questions about her maturity and ability to handle the pressures of professional basketball. Moving forward, Carter will need to focus on improving not only her game, but also her attitude and professionalism. There is no doubt that Carter has the potential to be one of the best players in the WNBA, but she will need to channel her competitive drive in a way that benefits both herself and her team. Learning how to deal with disappointment and how to celebrate the success of others are important lessons for any athlete, and Carter has the opportunity to grow from this experience.
Muscles are way up. The and one.
Carter's reaction also illuminates the way women's sports are covered in the media. While male athletes often receive praise for their passion and competitiveness, female athletes are sometimes criticized more harshly for similar behavior. This double standard can make it even more difficult for players like Carter to navigate the pressures of professional sports. It's important to recognize that the media plays a role in shaping the narrative around these players, and that the narrative can sometimes be unfair or overly critical. While Carter's reaction may not have been ideal, it's worth considering how much of the public backlash was influenced by the way her story was covered.
Just respond, calm down, let your play do the talking. It is what it is. It's a physical game. Go make the free throw and then execute on offense.
Caitlin Clark's achievements as the WNBA's Rookie of the Year and her place on the All-WNBA First Team are well-deserved accolades that highlight her immense talent and hard work. Her success, however, sparked a dramatic reaction from Chennedy Carter, whose public display of frustration garnered widespread attention.
Clark over Horston, hits a three!
While Carter's outburst may have been a misstep, it also serves as a reminder of the intense pressure faced by young athletes in the WNBA. As both Clark and Carter continue their careers, the lessons learned from this. In the end, both players are part of the next generation of WNBA stars, and their stories will continue to captivate fans and inspire the next wave of athletes. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, has produced a slew of outstanding players throughout the years, but two stand out in recent memory: Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. Their paths, although different, have often crossed, with each making substantial contributions to women's basketball and the sport's general development. Clark and Mitchell have captivated fans with their on-court talent, and the history they have created together represents the WNBA's developing environment.
Wins all of last season. They're already at 10. Look at the tie last year's winning record.
Clark from way downtown.
Caitlin Clark, a brilliant college basketball player, was making headlines even before she joined the WNBA. Her remarkable ascent has catapulted her into talks with the game's luminaries. Kelsey Mitchell, on the other side, has quickly established herself as one of the WNBA's top scorers after being drafted in 2018. These two players symbolize the league's present and future, and their journeys tell a unique story of grit, ability, and dedication.
Listen, I believed in her from day one. You knew that she would only get better and better. She's averaging 17.8 points this season, 41%.
In this video, we will examine the connected histories of Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, including their upbringing, early careers, and how they influenced and continue to develop the WNBA. We will also examine their playing styles, achievements, and impact both on and off the court.
Clark off the switch, found Smith, who landed.
Caitlin Clark, born in West Des Moines, Iowa, has swiftly established herself as one of the country's most promising basketball players. Clark has had an unusual ability to score from wherever on the floor since he was little. Her high school career was nothing short of remarkable, as she established multiple records and received numerous awards. She was a high school All-American, and her choice to join the University of Iowa benefited both her and the program. During her college career, Clark's name became associated with explosive playmaking, long-range shooting, and a ferocious competitive spirit. Her ability to command the floor and push her team to success was shown when she led the Iowa Hawkeyes to new heights in the NCAA tournament. Clark's unwavering pursuit of perfection, along with her basketball IQ, elevated her to the ranks of women's collegiate basketball's most prominent players.
As Bonner can't hit, Fagbenle the rebound. Here comes Clark, bouncing to Fagbenle, who lays it in!
Clark was already being compared to some of the finest players in the WNBA before going pro, and her ability to have a huge effect on the league was obvious. She was seen not just as a potential WNBA player, but also as someone whose unique skill set may transform the game. Kelsey Mitchell, born in Cincinnati, Ohio, had a somewhat different road to basketball greatness. Mitchell's basketball career started in high school, where she polished her abilities before attending Ohio State University. Mitchell became one of the most prolific scorers in NCAA history while at Ohio State, establishing records for both her shooting ability and on-court leadership. Her accomplishments earned her a berth in the 2018 WNBA draft, when she was taken second overall by the Indiana Fever.
Minnesota bouncing back on top. Kelsey Mitchell also heating up in the second half.
The high arcing from Kelsey Mitchell.
Mitchell's move to the WNBA was simple, and she rapidly established herself in the league. Her scoring talent, especially from beyond the arc, gave her a nightmare for opponents, and she emerged as one of the Indiana Fever's primary offensive weapons. Mitchell's skill has improved over the years, and she is now one of the league's most consistent scorers. While Clark was still making an impact in college, Mitchell had already established herself as one of the best players in the WNBA, demonstrating that her collegiate success could be translated to the professional level.
Steve 9, 5:13 left in regulation. Mitchell tries to answer with a long-range jumper of her own.
Caitlin Clark's game is typified by her ability to score from any position on the floor. She possesses long range, allowing her to make three-pointers from many feet beyond the arc, similar to NBA stars such as Stephen Curry and Damian Lillard. But Clark is much more than simply a shooter. She is a superb playmaker, often setting up her teammates for easy baskets with precision passing and excellent court vision.
Comes Caitlin. Get it!
Clark's basketball IQ stands out among many other players. She is a game student who consistently makes the correct judgments and is seldom shaken by high-stakes scenarios. Clark has shown to be one of the most versatile players in recent memory, whether she is creating space for a shot, driving to the basket, or providing an assist. Clark is also a formidable defensive player. She uses her length and quickness to block passing lanes, and her competitive drive keeps her focused on both ends of the floor. Her total flexibility makes her a player who can influence the game in a variety of ways, which is one of the reasons she was so successful in college and is anticipated to succeed in the WNBA. Kelsey Mitchell, on the other hand, is well known for her scoring skills. Throughout her collegiate and WNBA careers, she was one of the most dangerous offensive players in the league. Mitchell's fast release and ability to build her shot make her an ongoing danger to opposition defenses. Her three-point shooting is exceptional, and she can pull up from anywhere on the floor with ease.
Mitchell has not missed a shot yet. She's 3 for 3. Shot clock down to 5. Mitchell trying to create. Step back, that's a 3. She connects. Mitchell is...
But Mitchell is more than simply a shooter. She can also attack the basket and finish through contact, making her a dynamic scorer who can disrupt defenses in various ways. Her quickness and ball handling abilities enable her to beat opponents off the dribble, and she is adept at managing traffic to reach the basket. While Mitchell's greatest strength is her ability to score, she has also improved her playmaking skills with time. Early in her career, she was more concerned with her offense, but as she grew, she learned to include her teammates more, making her a complete player. Mitchell is aggressive on defense, utilizing her agility to keep ahead of her opponents and disrupt their attacking flow. Caitlin Clark's effect on the WNBA is much anticipated as she prepares to make her debut. Her academic success has already elevated her to an elite company, and many expect her to be a game changer on the professional level. The possibility of Clark competing against experienced WNBA talents like Kelsey Mitchell adds an interesting element to the league. Fans are excited to watch how Clark's unique skill set will transfer against the world's finest defenders and how she will improve the performance of her future squad. Clark's debut in the WNBA is crucial not just for her own career, but also for the league as a whole. The exposure she received during her college years has helped to increase awareness of women's basketball, and her participation in the WNBA is anticipated to improve the league's appeal even more.
Realizes it. Clark trying to take her defender, pulls up and hits from the mid-range, 20 points.
While Clark's WNBA debut is greatly anticipated, Kelsey Mitchell's reputation in the league continues to grow. Mitchell is already 3 years into her professional career and has established herself as one of the WNBA's finest offensive players. Her steady scoring and leadership on the court have made her a vital member of the Indiana Fever, and she shows no signs of slowing down. Mitchell's impact in the WNBA extends beyond just scoring points. She has become a mentor to younger players, guiding the future generation of stars, such as Caitlin Clark, who will shortly join the league. Mitchell's expertise and leadership are critical to the development of the league's future stars, and she continues to set a standard for what it takes to achieve at the top level of female basketball.
So just trying to force the pace, pull up three. Mitchell.
As Caitlin Clark joins the WNBA, she and Kelsey Mitchell will undoubtedly face off on the floor. These clashes are guaranteed to be exciting, as both players have great offensive abilities and a competitive intensity that motivates them to perform at their best. While Clark's approach is more focused on playmaking and adaptability, Mitchell's sheer scoring ability provides a unique challenge to any opponent. Clark and Mitchell's competition, although heated on the court, is likely to be characterized by mutual respect. Both athletes have overcome enormous challenges to reach the pinnacle of their respective sports, and they understand the commitment and hard work required to achieve at the professional level. This admiration will be visible in their confrontations as they push each other to new heights and elevate the WNBA's level of competitiveness.
Yeah, they've both been tremendous. I thought they played great defense. They've made great decisions out of the pick and roll or pick and pop.
The world of women's basketball has been steadily rising for decades, but it has only just started to gain the recognition it deserves. Caitlin Clark, a player who has enthralled audiences throughout the United States and abroad, has played a crucial role in this shift. Caitlin Clark, known for her remarkable abilities, exciting performances, and unmistakable personality, has single-handedly revolutionized the WNBA's reputation, attracting fans who may otherwise have neglected women's sports.
Best college athlete, women's sports presented by Athleta is Caitlin Clark.
Until recently, the WNBA failed to attract the same amount of public attention as its male counterpart, the NBA. Despite having some of the world's most gifted athletes, the league's games were often overlooked, and attendance could have been better at best.
And I think we were down 2 points at halftime, but then we started the third quarter really, really strong, and I think that kind of set the tone for the second half, and we didn't really look back, and then Enrique got...
However, the arrival of Caitlin Clark has altered all of that. In only a few years, she has become not just the league's face, but also one of its most popular attractions. Clark has captivated basketball fans worldwide with her remarkable shooting range, ability to dominate the game, and ferocious competitive attitude. She is now the #1 player in the United States, a distinction that represents both her supremacy on and off the court.
I feel very lucky to be a part of this weekend, and I think Phoenix did a tremendous job of putting this weekend on. The fans were incredible. Obviously, the game was really good.
Caitlin Clark is not like any other player in the women's game. From the time she goes onto the court, it is evident that she boasts a distinct set of abilities that distinguishes her from her colleagues. Her shooting range is, without a doubt, the most impressive feature of her game. Clark can shoot from distances that most players would never contemplate, and she does it with incredible effectiveness. Her vast shooting range has been her hallmark, and it has changed what is possible in women's basketball.
All night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience? Clark!
Clark's game, however, includes more than simply long shots. What actually distinguishes her is the way she blends her shooting power with other abilities to create her a complete player.
Praise. She was absolutely right in saying that. We don't disagree, but that's utopia. Reality is it didn't happen to this level until Caitlin Clark showed up.
Her court vision is superb, enabling her to make precise passes and set up her teammates for scoring opportunities. She's also an excellent ball handler, capable of breaking down defenses with her dribble and generating chances for herself and others.
Here, Caitlin Clark just dancing with the basketball, going to her left.
Clark's game is reminiscent of several of the NBA's best players. Her shooting, passing, and ball handling abilities have earned her comparisons to NBA luminaries LeBron James, Jason Kidd, and Steve Nash. LeBron James is recognized for his flexibility and ability to dominate every facet of the game, and Clark has comparable characteristics. Despite being a guard, she has an outstanding ability to finish near the basket, similar to James.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to come in here and compete. We knew we needed to make the Olympic team, help them prepare for Paris, so that was our goal. We knew they were going to compete, so we competed too.
Her 62.7% shooting percentage from inside 5 feet of the basket is not only excellent, but also astounding, particularly for a player her stature. Her ability to score around the rim gives her continuous danger.
Yeah, she was huge. She never shies away from the moment. She made some huge shots for us, but she's just poised, very poised. You can see it in her face, like she wants to be in those moments, so I'm super proud of her.
Requiring defenses to keep a tight eye on her every move. Then there's there's the comparison to Jason Kidd, a player known for his rebounding and quick playmaking. Clark too excels in these fields. Her rebounding stats are excellent for a guard, and she's constantly eager to push the ball in transition, quickly converting defense into offense.
13,000 fans. Somebody else had 15. Everybody else had over 20,000 plus. You think that would happen if Caitlin Clark was on that team? You think that would happen if Angel Reese was on that team? But especially Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better.
Her ability to manage the pace of the game makes her an invaluable asset to her squad. Finally, there's the comparison to Steve Nash and Steph Curry, two of NBA history's finest shooters. Clark, like Nash, has a creative side to her game, often finding ways to make tough shots seem simple. Like Curry, she possesses an almost effortless shooting technique that enables her to score from wherever on the floor.
It's going to be, hard to lose, so we're just trying to get her the ball. So, proud of us. It was a lot of fun, and I thought we played really hard.
It's no surprise that fans and experts alike have made these parallels. Caitlin Clark seems to combine the greatest aspects of these NBA icons into a spectacular package. Caitlin Clark's effect.
3 for the Sparks, 0 for 9, and Caitlin Clark says
stretches much beyond her performances. She has become a sensation that is propelling the WNBA forward in terms of viewership and attendance. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and it's being felt around the league.
Box office. Clark and the Fever currently lead the WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership.
When Clark is on the court, everyone pays attention. Her games generate a lot of interest both from those in the bleachers and those watching at home. The stats speak for themselves. Anytime Clark performs, attendance increases dramatically. For example, the Atlanta Dream just established a record for the largest attendance at a WNBA game in Georgia history, thanks in large part to the presence of Caitlin Clark. The Caitlin Clark effect has become a formidable force in women's basketball, and other teams and players are eager to capitalize on it.
Got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level. So I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies around the rim, and so hopefully those fall in the fourth. But
this increasing interest has resulted in more games being aired nationally, providing the WNBA with a platform to reach a larger audience. Last year, the Indiana Fever had just one nationally broadcast game. This year, they had 36 of 40 games on national television. This demonstrates the WNBA's expanding popularity, with Caitlin Clark playing a significant role in that rise.
It would mean everything. That's like one of my dreams as a kid growing up. You always want to be an Olympic gold medalist.
Her presence on the court has made her a TV attraction, with millions tuning in to see her play.
Fans that love Caitlin's game, and Caitlin is having a phenomenal season, but what I want people to think about is
However, it is not only about TV ratings and attendance counts. The Caitlin Clark effect has had a direct influence on ticket sales and game advertising. When Clark is due to play, teams go all out to publicize the match. They make hype films, flood social media with postings, and even relocate games to bigger locations to meet greater demand.
She's always been a fan of mine, and I've always been a fan of hers, and she's just very down to earth, a great person. And
this proactive effort is paying off, as games starring Clark often sell out, leaving just standing room tickets available. Caitlin Clark's effect on the WNBA cannot be emphasized.
I'm happy for her, and it was fun. Like, they tried to sub me in for her. I'm like, no, I'm staying on the bench. This is fun to watch.
She is not just an excellent player, but also a marketing sensation, and her influence is helping to propel the league to new heights. The WNBA is still expanding, and with athletes like Clark leading the way, its prospects are brighter than ever.
Now, me as a fan of Caitlin Clark, I would have loved to see her on this international stage, but I understand that Team USA constructs their roster not necessarily.
Caitlin Clark's effect on the WNBA extends beyond her marketability and the energy she brings to the game. She is also a great player, smashing records and establishing new standards for what is possible in the league.
Without all of you, so seriously, I mean that, and I thank you, and this is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but
one of the most notable accomplishments in Clark's career so far has been establishing the rookie record for most assists in a season. With 9 assists in a recent game, she broke the old record and now has 232. This accomplishment is especially amazing, considering that Clark is just in her first season with the WNBA. Her ability to improve her teammates and generate scoring chances demonstrates her selflessness and in-depth grasp of the game.
We want to be back in the playoffs. That's been our goal since, the season started. We haven't been there since 2016, so.
Clark, however, is more than simply an assister. She is also on track to beat Alyssa Thomas' all-time WNBA assist record of 316, with 12 games remaining in the season.
You know, we got to make a playoff push. We know our schedule is going to be difficult, and there's going to be teams fighting for.
Clark has a good chance of surpassing this number, establishing her position as one of the best playmakers in league history.
Thank you so much, and I just feel really grateful to be here, and I've put on an Iowa jersey for 4 years, but like Coach Bluder and Kate said, like there's still so much more fun to have, and we're not done.
In addition to her assist records, Clark has received attention for her scoring abilities. She has routinely been one of the league's top scorers, with some of the greatest shooting percentages in the WNBA. Her ability to score from any position on the floor, along with her efficiency, puts her a continuous danger to opposition defenses.
I think it's easy, like these people are my best friends, and like that's not for show. Like I seriously know, like I'm not me without all of them, and they've had my back. And
Clark's accomplishments are great, but what makes them even more astounding is the circumstances in which they were accomplished. She is competing in a league that is more competitive than ever, with teams loaded with skill and coaches continuously developing new methods to slow her down.
It's going to give people an opportunity to see how good women's basketball is.
Despite these hurdles, Clark continues to compete at a very high level, and her records demonstrate her devotion, ability, and hard work. While Caitlin Clark's career has been full of plaudits and accomplishments, it has also been fraught with obstacles and scandals. Like any high-profile athlete, Clark has encountered criticism and struggle, and how she has handled these circumstances has only contributed to her fame.
I think just reflecting back over my 4 years is just, I'm very grateful starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID.
One of the most significant hurdles Clark has experienced is getting passed over for the U.S. national team. Despite her stellar success in the WNBA, she was not chosen to represent her country in international competition.
I have heard that rumor. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think they're selling pretty well.
Many fans and experts were surprised and disappointed by Clark's omission, believing that her skill and effect on the game made her an easy pick for the roster. Rather than becoming discouraged by this setback, Clark turned it into inspiration.
Obviously, my sophomore year, we had good crowds. The curtains were down a lot of the games, and now it's impossible to get a ticket to get in the door to our games. So
during a hiatus from the Olympic women's basketball squad, she rested and improved her skills. Since then, she has performed at an even better level, demonstrating that she is among the world's finest players. Her perseverance and tenacity in the face of hardship have endeared her to fans and made her a role model for young athletes worldwide.
But despite the attendance and viewership records, there seems to be some haterade in the league.
Clark has also been engaged in a few on-court disputes. In a recent game, she received a technical penalty for pounding the base of the hoop in desperation after a missed shot. The referee chastised her for disrespecting the game.
More than anything, like they're my best friends off the court, and I think that's why we thrive on the court and have so much fun together. And more than anything, I know these girls are going to be my best friends for the rest of my life, and really that's all that matters to me.
But Clark claimed that her actions were motivated by her competitive personality and desire to do better. Surprisingly, she hailed the referee for the technical infraction, claiming that it inspired her to play harder and that her team improved as a result.
And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Cheryl Swoops, there is no woman who should negate mentioning Caitlin Clark and what Caitlin Clark is doing for the game. I know the Monica McNutts and others were getting very, very frustrated at all of the buzz that was going in her direction, not to hate on Caitlin Clark in any way, because I'm sure Monica McNutt does not feel that way. She just knows that there were people on the ground pounding the pavement that were doing so much for women's basketball.
This event demonstrates another part of Clark's personality, her boldness. She is open about her feelings on the court and pushes the limits to achieve wins.
No, Caitlin Clark. Respectfully, Cheryl Swoops, you have any idea how that makes you?
While this has sometimes caused controversy, it has also made her one of the most captivating players to watch in the WNBA. Aside from the court, Clark has been outspoken about the WNBA's difficulties, notably in terms of pay. Like many other players in the league, she feels that WNBA compensation should be greater, particularly considering the league's expanding popularity and profitability. Clark has been a champion for WNBA players' improved wages and working conditions.
No, I mean, they're really good. They have plenty of talent on that team. And it was the same, I think 4 years prior. I'm pretty sure the Team WNBA beat Team USA.
and her views on the subject have resonated with many fans and teammates. Caitlin Clark's impact extends beyond her on-court accomplishments. She is also making waves off the court, notably in sponsorships and marketing.
They were perfectly fine in the Olympics. I think if anything, it shows how good this league is. It shows how much talent is in this league and how you have to show up and prepare every single night.
Clark, one of the most recognizable women in the WNBA, has won many high-profile endorsement agreements, which have considerably increased her salary and visibility.
Down people's throats because she's a cash cow. Great, they're gonna market the hell out of this white chick. That's whatever she is. She puts the ball in the hole.
Clark's endorsement partnerships include a broad variety of items and businesses, including sports gear and consumer goods. Her popularity stems not just from her basketball skills, but also from her personality and ability to interact with people.
Caitlin Clark can ball. She should have been on Team USA because you needed the marketing buzz. I didn't say she was better than all 12 players that were on the team instead of her. Even though when they almost lost to France, I was getting nervous. Diana Taurasi wasn't on the court. I said, you need somebody that can shoot.
She is seen as a relatable person, one who is enthusiastic about her sport and committed to her art.
It's going to be really nice. I mean, I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to,
This has made her a popular spokeswoman for brands trying to attract a younger, more diversified audience. Clark's endorsement earnings are one of the most profitable elements of her career. According to current predictions, she may make millions of dollars in sponsorships alone as her fame and marketability improve. This is a big achievement for the WNBA, since it demonstrates that players in the league can reach financial success comparable to those in other sports.
But this is a non-story. So you don't think she has literally put life into WNBA? Yeah, we're talking about it right now, but I don't think she's going anywhere.
Clark's financial effect goes beyond her profits. Her participation in the league has boosted WNBA franchise values and increased total income. More fans are attending games, more merchandise is being sold, and more organizations are investing in the NBA, all of which can be traced back to the Caitlin Clark effect.
You a WNBA player? Caitlin Clark gonna get you paid. I'd figure out a way to be her friend. Or her friend of me. That's what Angel Reese has done.
Caitlin Clark's success in the sponsorship business bodes well for the WNBA's future. It demonstrates that the league's players can be more than simply athletes. They can be cultural icons and influential figures in sports and beyond.
You want to continue to get more of those players into this league because there's so many fans at the college level and continue to bring those fans here. So
as the WNBA grows, other players are sure to follow in Clark's footsteps, landing hefty contracts and helping to propel the league to new heights. Caitlin Clark's climb to the top of the WNBA has been nothing short of incredible.
I think people stepped up when their number was called and they were put into the game, and I thought we came out and started the second half well and really just found a way and dug deep and made plays when we needed to.
She has swiftly established herself as one of the most significant players in the game. Thanks to her unique skill set and effect on the league's popularity, her accomplishments on the court, along with her marketability off the court, have transformed her into a force to be reckoned with, and her future in the league seems to be very promising.
Messing with her, I always mess around with her, but then I told her, that record's for you, but maybe we'll break it at one point. Who knows?
So while we celebrate Caitlin Clark being named the #1 player in the United States, let us also look forward to the many more triumphs that are likely to follow. The WNBA is on the rise, and with stars like Clark leading the way, the future of women's basketball has never looked better.
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play, but, got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level, so I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies.
Definitely, we're not coming here to just shoot around and, waste time. We're here to work and get better and compete hard, and our practice boys have done a great job, too.
Really great for the state champion in high school for golf.
She's just tremendous. She's really good, and sky's the limit for her. I think she's only going to get better and better, so I'm super proud of her.
Against her today.
I'm just happy we won. It was cool to play again.
Ability to lead the Indiana Fever to the playoffs, and record-breaking statistics as reasons why she should be chosen MVP. Many people, including A'ja Wilson, were outraged by Caitlin Clark's exclusion from the MVP competition. But what actually transpired that prompted Wilson's public outburst?
She's pretty incredible. I mean, you watch her and it's unguardable. There's nothing anybody can do to stop it. She's just that dominant, whether it's her mid-range game.
Just 2 minutes earlier, Aja Wilson resorted to social media to express her displeasure, and it was not nice. In a series of angry tweets, Wilson lashed out at the WNBA, calling Caitlin Clark's MVP rejection absurd and a complete joke. She expressed surprise that someone of Clark's caliber could be left out of the MVP race, particularly given her effect on the league this season.
By any means necessary, KP's going to do it on both sides of the basketball, and she's one of the most hardworking players I've ever seen play the game of basketball. She's always in the gym. Like when they say first one in.
Wilson did not hold back. In one of her postings, she said, "I can't believe we're out here pretending Caitlin Clark didn't just change the game for the WNBA. How will you ignore that? This league is sleeping on the future, which is disgusting." Her response was quick and strong, sparking a blaze of debate among fans and teammates. The Twitter storm was just the beginning. Wilson's words grabbed the attention of media outlets and sports commentators who jumped right on the topic. Wilson was clearly furious, not just about the rejection, but also about what it meant for the WNBA. To her, the league's inability to recognize Clark's genius seemed like a step backward in terms of advancing the game and promoting fresh talent.
It's time for WNBA Today because we have a big game tonight. Two of the most prolific #1 overall picks in WNBA history. They go head to head as Caitlin Clark and the Fever host Aja Wilson and the defending champion Aces. Now, Aja has dominated in their matchups, winning both meetings so far, but we know that Caitlin has just been a revelation in her rookie season, and Clark was asked about the challenges that come with facing Aja Wilson.
As soon as Aja Wilson's words reached social media, replies poured in from all over the internet. Fans of both Wilson and Clark were quick to respond, with many repeating Wilson's comments. The hashtag Caitlin Clark for MVP started trending on Twitter, with supporters urging the WNBA to rethink its MVP selection. Even players from around the league joined in. Several renowned WNBA players tweeted in favor of Aja Wilson's outburst, stating that Caitlin Clark's absence from the MVP contest was unjust. Kelsey Mitchell, Clark's Indiana Fever teammate, tweeted, "I've been saying this. Caitlin has been on fire all season. How is she not in the MVP conversation?"
Two-time WNBA MVP Aja Wilson joined us here on SportsCenter. Aja, I hope you could hear some of the stats we were just throwing at the audience coming off that game. You guys started 5-5 in the season, but you've won 5 straight now. What do you attribute to this recent run of success?
I mean, just trusting the process, but also our defensive end. I think we really settled down on the defensive end, and that's where we can really play our basketball. But sometimes you got to trust the process. Adversity hit us a little early, but I'm glad it did, so we can learn how to grind out wins because this league is way too good. So we're slowly getting back to Aces basketball in our system, and I'm feeling like we're at the right time of our season right now.
28 points, 9 rebounds for you, season high 34 for Kelsey Plum. She was reluctant to talk too much about herself a few moments ago with Angel Gray. What do you say about Kelsey Plum as it relates to doing what is necessary to win a game?
By any means necessary, KP's going to do it on both sides of the basketball, and she's one of the most hardworking players I've ever seen play the game of basketball. She's always in the gym. Like when they say first one in, last one to leave, that is.
On the other side, other fans believe Wilson's reaction was disrespectful and unwarranted. Critics claim that Wilson should concentrate on her performance and let the MVP process unfold. Nonetheless, the vast majority of fans seem to agree with Wilson, claiming that Clark's rejection was one of the most contentious in recent WNBA history.
So here is the scouting report from Caitlin Clark. I mean, look at those words. Mid-range game. She can put it on the floor. Defensive player, unguardable. We are witnessing the greatest scoring.
As the uproar over her MVP snub heated up, all eyes shifted to Caitlin Clark herself. Fans and media outlets were curious how the emerging celebrity would react to the outpouring of support from Aja Wilson and others. However, Caitlin Clark has yet to comment on the topic. Clark's choice to remain silent might be strategic. Clark, known for her professionalism and maturity both on and off the court, may choose to let her game speak for itself rather than become involved in the continuing turmoil. Nonetheless, her silence has not prevented admirers from guessing her true feelings about the MVP snub.
The only reason that I brought up the first part about Angel Reese is this. Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star, and Angel Reese is to be completely believed that there's no hate, they both get along, they're cool with each other, they're high-end competitors, etc., etc. But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship. And you also are old enough to know that in this society, whether they want to admit it or not,
some anticipate Clark will ultimately issue a statement or discuss the subject in a post-game interview. Others believe she prefers to concentrate on her next game and is keen to prove the critics wrong with her performance on the court. Whatever her answer, one thing is certain. Caitlin Clark's MVP rejection has become the talk of the league.
With A'ja Wilson, who is having career highs across the board. And there are 3 ways that make A'ja Wilson great, and I'll show you exactly as we take it to the court, starting with her.
To properly comprehend the intensity of A'ja Wilson's response, you must first understand the importance of the MVP award in the WNBA. The MVP award is more than simply individual honors. It reflects a player's effect on their club and the league as a whole. For many players, receiving the MVP award represents the pinnacle of their hard work, devotion, and contributions to the game.
A'ja Wilson with Wilson mid-range, where she's 2 for 2.
For A'ja Wilson, who has won the honor twice, the MVP title means much more. Wilson understands what it takes to be an MVP and is grateful for the honor. This is likely contributing to her displeasure at Caitlin Clark's omission from the MVP contest, as she believes Clark deserves equal praise for her game-changing performance. Furthermore, the MVP award has the potential to shape a player's legacy. Winning the MVP not only secures a player's place in history, but also opens the door to sponsorships, media, opportunities, and future success in their career. For a rookie like Caitlin Clark, earning MVP in her first season would have been a huge accomplishment, perhaps propelling her career to even higher heights.
3 closeouts each possession, and if you do that, you're probably going to have a team in rotation, and you're probably going to have some mismatches.
Clark, step back 3.
Another issue contributing to the MVP dispute is the media's involvement in framing the narrative. Sports media has an important role in promoting player achievements, changing public opinion, and eventually influencing awards such as MVP. Throughout the season, the media concentrated on established players like A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart, while Caitlin Clark, despite her amazing season, received less national recognition. This media prejudice may have contributed to Clark's MVP snub. As Wilson pointed out in her outburst, the league and its media partners may be sleeping on the future, failing to identify the next generation of potential. The WNBA is at a crucial point, and Caitlin Clark represents the league's future. Ignoring her in the MVP debate sends the wrong message to fans and aspiring athletes who look up to Clark as a role model.
When you're talking about Caitlin, I think there's no denying her ability to influence your offense, right? When you think about different players, you think about, oh, they can really score the ball, they can really push the ball in transition.
A'ja Wilson's response to Caitlin Clark's MVP rejection underlines her status as a WNBA leader. During her career, Wilson has utilized her position to advocate for topics that are important to her, like social, justice, and improved compensation and recognition for WNBA players. Wilson's current outburst is just another example of her sticking up for what she feels to be right. Wilson's leadership goes beyond her team and performance. By openly criticizing the WNBA's MVP selection, she advocates for justice and pushes the league to develop. Her willingness to speak up, even at the risk of causing controversy, demonstrates her commitment to the future of the WNBA and her desire to see players like Caitlin Clark get the credit they deserve.
She's been hot, shooting 43% during that time from the 3-point line.
Wilson all mid-range and all day.
With the debate in full swing, the major question is, how will the WNBA react? The league has yet to release a formal comment on Caitlin Clark's MVP snub or A'ja Wilson's angry response. However, considering the severity of the debate and the broad attention it has received, the WNBA may feel pressured to address the issue. The league might react in many ways. It may address the criticism and explain the MVP selection process, or it could sit mute and let the topic flow naturally. In any case, the league must tread cautiously since this issue has the potential to influence public opinion of the MVP award and the WNBA's dedication to developing new talent.
We do that in the WNBA.
As the MVP debate continues, both Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson will surely be in the limelight. Clark's MVP disappointment might inspire her future performances. She's already established herself to be a powerhouse on the court, and this recent development may encourage her to climb even higher in her career. This event demonstrates A'ja Wilson's leadership and enthusiasm for the game. While her reaction was dramatic, it also demonstrates how much she cares about the league's future and the recognition of good players. Wilson's willingness to stand stand up for Caitlin Clark might cement her place as one of the WNBA's most important leaders, both on and off the field.
Some people didn't expect her to be as good as she was early. I did. I thought she would be.
To summarize, A'ja Wilson's emotional response to Caitlin Clark's MVP rejection has sparked a discourse about more than just one prize. It's a conversation about the WNBA's future, how to recognize emerging talent, and how leadership shapes the league. As we wait to see how the WNBA reacts, one thing is certain: this will be recognized as a watershed event in the league's history. Caitlin Clark's influence on the WNBA is evident, and although she may have been overlooked this season, her future is very promising. A'ja Wilson's strong enthusiasm continues to drive the discourse, and her leadership on and off the court establishes her as a real legend in the sport.
Agbenle, handoff Clark, launches, and hits him!
Stay tuned for further updates on this developing topic, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe for the most up-to-date sports news.
You know, this is a dream. This is something I wrote down on a piece of paper when I was in like second grade. Like, get a basketball scholarship, play in the WNBA. Like, this is always something I wanted to do.
The WNBA has long been a hotbed of competitive energy, including some of the world's most gifted athletes, some like Caitlin Clark, whose rapid ascent has created an undertone of dissatisfaction. Also, Teresa Weatherspoon, the Chicago Sky's head coach.
You have to ask yourself that every single day that you live this life. Are you impacting the lives of other people? So I'm praying that the position that I hold tells people.
Recently made headlines at a news conference for what many are calling an unusual outburst, as well as her team's performance. The seasoned coach, renowned for her calm demeanor and great knowledge, surprised everyone when she refused to address questions regarding Clark and the Indiana Fever.
Keep moving! Keep moving! There we go!
How have you liked your attack on the offensive end, Spoon?
This event has caused significant conjecture and debate in the basketball world, prompting many to wonder, what is it about Caitlin Clark that is shaking up the WNBA so dramatically? In this video, we'll examine the controversy surrounding Teresa Weatherspoon's response and how Clark's presence in the league has changed the dynamics on the court, while also ruffling the feathers of established players and coaches.
Honestly, I think setting my teammates up, I think that just like provides so much more energy to the team. It gets everybody going, and when everybody can like touch the ball and, you know, get going in that way, I think it just, you know, everybody just flows a little bit better. The offense flows a little bit better. But that's something I take a lot of pride in. At times I think I can try to like overpass and probably could be a little more aggressive to the basket. But yeah, I think with the weapons that we have on our team.
We'll also investigate why Clark's influence on the WNBA is becoming a double-edged sword, bringing both unprecedented attention and great pressure on the league.
Yeah, I think we responded well after we had to use that timeout early in the third.
To comprehend the full scope of the present conflict, you must first understand why Caitlin Clark is generating such a stir in the WNBA.
I think turnovers are costing us a little bit. If we can take care of the ball a little bit better, we'll be in a better position, but I thought we did better on the O boards.
Clark's performance on the professional stage has been nothing short of remarkable. She is not just playing the game, she is rewriting the rules and establishing new standards.
But they go in. Not only do they go in consistently. In the way she plays the game, she's the true definition of a great player.
Clark made it evident right away that she wasn't your typical rookie. Her performances have repeatedly been jaw-dropping, and her statistics prove it. Clark, who averages 22.6 points.
I'm very grateful starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID, and then obviously my sophomore year we had good crowds. The curtains were down a lot of the games, and now
7.8 assists and 5.4 rebounds per game, and has a 34.6% three-point shooting percentage, is not only making an impact,
slowly developing and getting better and better. And yeah, I think we're just, you know, learning as time goes and each game goes, like we're just getting better and better.
You've had an absolutely whirlwind first half of your rookie campaign. I want to ask you how much you're looking forward to this break, right, coming up,
but also creating history. These statistics are astonishing for any athlete, much alone a rookie. It's a little surprising that she's immediately been the focus of talks about the WNBA's future.
Well, she's definitely taken that golden advice, recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus point rebound games.
However, Clark's effect extends beyond her statistics. Her impact on the Indiana Fever has been nothing short of transformational. Last season, the Fever finished with a 13-27 record, making them one of the league's worst teams.
This is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but you're changing it. You're helping us change it. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, We thank you so much.
However, with Clark at the helm, the Fever have made a stunning turnaround. They're no longer the league's punching bag.
I think it's easy. Like, these people are my best friends, and like, that's not for show. Like, I seriously know, like, I'm not me without all of them, and they've had my back. And
instead, they're vying for a postseason place after already exceeding last year's victory total. Clark seemed to have revitalized the whole squad, transforming them into a formidable force.
Yeah, they've both been tremendous. I thought they played great defense. They've made great decisions out of the pick and roll or pick and pop. We got to keep going to them. All right, thanks. Thank you.
The Fever's comeback hasn't gone unnoticed. They're playing entertaining, competitive basketball, and fans are paying attention. Clark's arrival has revitalized the squad.
More than anything, I know these girls are going to be my best friends for the rest of my life, and really that's all that matters to me. I don't really care if we win another game. It's just having these people in my life for forever.
Resulting in an inevitable increase in expectations. However, although the Fever's success story is one of the most thrilling events in recent WNBA history.
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play, but got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level. So I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies around the rim, and so hopefully those fall in the fourth, but really proud of our team.
It has also resulted in a slew of unexpected repercussions. With tremendous success comes considerable attention, not all of which is beneficial.
Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
As Clark's fame continues to grow, so does the hostility she seems to be instilling in her opponents.
Stephen A., I'm talking to you, Stephen A., if you had promoted the WNBA more, if you had talked about it more, they would have played more games. Like I had the power to go up to ESPN and say, directors and producers and cameramen and everybody else flock to the WNBA. At the time,
the WNBA has always had its fair share of rivalries and competitive edge, but what we're seeing now with Clark and the Indiana Fever is something new, more fierce.
People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that,
one of the most striking evidence of this growing hatred came in a recent game versus the Connecticut Sun. During the match, Alyssa Thomas committed a hard foul on Clark, which many fans and experts deemed unwarranted and unnecessarily violent. The foul was largely viewed as a direct message. Welcome to the WNBA rookie. It was a sharp reminder that despite her outstanding accomplishments, Clark is still seen as an outsider by some of the league's veterans. However, the situation with Thomas is not uncommon. In many games, Clark has faced more physical and aggressive defense.
Give it up for these women, these incredible seniors, and thank you for all that
you've done. Opposing teams seem eager to go to any length to control her, even crossing the line into unsportsmanlike behavior. This kind of approach demonstrates Clark's impact. Teams are starting to regard her as more than simply a brilliant player, but also a real danger to their success.
honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball.
Clark's resilience, however, is her most outstanding quality. Despite the increasing aggressiveness and efforts to knock her off her game, she stays undeterred. She continues to play her signature style of basketball, making impossible passes, scoring long-range shots, and leading her team with grace and confidence. Clark isn't simply surviving the hardships she faces, she's flourishing in them. Given the background of escalating tensions, it's no wonder that emotions are high around the league. However, Teresa Weatherspoon's reply at a recent news appearance surprised many. Weatherspoon, a renowned figure in women's basketball, is noted for her wide knowledge and level-headed approach to the game.
I'm pretty sure I'll be in a three-point competition for everybody to watch at some point. Not everybody needs to freak out. So, but also like, the roster that we have in the three-point competition is incredible. You look at their percentages, they're all 40% three-point shooters. Like, they're shooting better percentage-wise than I am, so they all deserve it. I'll be there supporting, watching them. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was just like take some rest and make a decision for myself, which is at times can be hard to do. And
that's why her hasty exit from a news appearance, refusing to answer questions regarding Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, has perplexed many. In all of my years covering basketball, I've never seen anything like that. Coaches are often required to exhibit a sense of calm and professionalism, particularly in front of the media. However, Weatherspoon's reply was anything but calm.
I'm honestly proud of myself for doing that.
I so appreciate your honesty there. And I was talking to Diana Taurasi earlier today.
Her abrupt departure generated more questions than it answered, leading everyone to speculate on what might have provoked such a strong reaction. To comprehend the importance of this occasion, we must first analyze Teresa Weatherspoon.
Yeah, obviously nothing's official, and for this league, like to me, it's like sky's the limit. You're seeing how incredible it can be. You can see how hard it is to get a ticket to get into the doors, how many people want to turn it on their television, how people are traveling miles and miles to come and watch and have an opportunity to interact with the players or just watch the players play basketball live in person. So, you know, obviously expansion is going to really help. The new media deal is going to help.
She is not just any coach, she is a Hall of Famer, a two-time WNBA champion, and a veteran of the women's basketball world. For someone of her standing to respond in this manner implies that something else is going on. One idea suggests that Weatherspoon's behavior stems from dissatisfaction. The Chicago Sky, on which she has poured her heart and her, is faltering this season, but Clark's Indiana Fever is on the rise.
And I think you're just going to continue to see it grow. This is really only the beginning in my eyes. It's the hardest league in all of sports with only, you know, less than 144 spots. Obviously that's expanding, but you know, I'm excited. The people that have been in this league deserve it, and then obviously the people that are going to continue to come into this league are.
It's conceivable that witnessing her team struggle while a rookie like Clark dominates the league is hard for her to accept. After all, Weatherspoon has spent years establishing her image and team, and suddenly a 22-year-old is stealing the show. This might be a difficult pill to take for someone who has devoted their life to the sport.
90 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. Looking for Reese. In fact, Bentley tips it away and off and running. Caitlin Clark.
The Caitlin Clark effect refers not just to her on-court performance, but also to how she is transforming the whole WNBA. Her success has brought the league unparalleled exposure, recruiting new fans, and creating media coverage that women's basketball has seldom experienced before. This increased prominence is definitely beneficial to the sport as a whole, but it is also causing a ripple effect that puts pressure on everyone involved.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. You know, it's a dream. You know, hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and you know, hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, you know, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whomever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was, you know, really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. You know, there's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break, you know, from Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess?
For years, the WNBA has struggled to establish its position in the cluttered sports scene, sometimes failing to attract the same degree of attention as men's leagues.
The craziness of everything that's been going on, and you know, just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, like, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, like, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
What was it like to try to prepare for Team USA? Like, you were in Cleveland when they were hosting camp, but like, obviously you had other things in your mind, I think.
However, with Clark's arrival, the narrative is starting to alter. Fever games are attracting record crowds, social media is humming with her highlights, and everyone wants to speak about the WNBA. Clark is more than simply a player. She is a phenomenon who is transforming the league in ways few could have predicted.
Competitors. They're out there to compete to go win. And when you're in a different uniform, you're just competing to go win. And then a lot of times it's at all costs.
However, this sudden exposure brings a lot of strain. Coaches who previously worked in relative obscurity are now under scrutiny. Every tactical choice, replacement, and post-game statement is scrutinized more than ever before. Some may embrace this transition as an opportunity to get the recognition they deserve finally. Others, however, find it very stressful. Teresa Weatherspoon's response may be seen as a microcosm of the larger problem. As a seasoned coach, she's used to working inside a certain framework, which Clark's presence has upended. The increased media attention, the pressure to perform, and the necessity to adjust to a new style of play are all contributing to a more difficult situation for established league figures.
We did as a team, we spoke about it, we did what we had to do as a team to speak about how we conduct ourselves, and we moved on from there. The world kept speaking, we let the world keep speaking, but
there's also the issue of playing style. Caitlin Clark plays a daring style of basketball with dangerous passes and long-range shots. This style contradicts professional football's old norms, and for more conservative coaches, it may seem to be an affront to the right way to play. Clark's performance demonstrates that there are other ways to win in the WNBA, but it also forces coaches and players to reevaluate their approaches to the game. Then there's the money side. Clark's success brings more money and attention to the league, increasing the pressure on everyone to excel. Coaches who are unable to adjust to this new age may find themselves swiftly out of job, while slow-moving players risk falling behind. The stakes have never been greater, and for some, this is a tough fact to accept.
The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer.
As we look forward to the WNBA playoffs, it's evident that Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever will play key roles in the drama that awaits. The league's fans are ecstatic right now. The Fever's turnaround, paired with Clark's brilliance, has created the potential for one of the most exciting playoff runs in recent memory. Clark's presence, however, presents a big challenge to the league's other clubs. How do you prepare to play against a player who seems to have a response for everything? How can you stop a club that has been building momentum all season? These are the questions that coaches and players are considering as they prepare for the playoffs. Teresa Weatherspoon and the Chicago Sky face an especially hard path ahead. The Sky have yet to find consistency this season, and if they want to make a long postseason run, they must find a way to stop Clark. Weatherspoon's outburst at the press conference may be seen as evidence that she is feeling the strain more intensely than ever before. But if we've learned anything about Weatherspoon, it's that she's a fierce competitor. She may have been frustrated, but you can guarantee she'll be doing all she can to prepare her squad for the next task.
Style
being here is really hurting Chicago tonight.
Chennedy a guard, but so effective in the paint. And Boston now has gone back to...
Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever are entering the playoffs with confidence they haven't felt in years. Clark has given them the conviction that they can defeat anybody, which is a dangerous mindset for their opponents. The Fever's success is due to more than just one player, but there is little doubt that Clark is the driving force behind their extraordinary turnaround. As the playoffs come, all eyes will be on Caitlin Clark. Can she keep performing at this great level when the stakes are highest? Can she guide the Fever to a long playoff run and possibly a championship? These are the issues that will define the playoffs, and the answers will most likely have long-term implications for the WNBA. But regardless of what happens, one thing is certain: Caitlin Clark has already altered the league in ways that will be felt for years. She's more than simply a newcomer. She's a game changer, a pioneer, and a force of nature. As the WNBA evolves, athletes like Clark will help mold its future.
But Caitlin Clark is a special player. She reminds me of a Steph Curry. You know, a lot of times she takes those ill-advised shots that me and Chuck don't like.
The WNBA is undergoing a seismic transformation, with Caitlin Clark at the center. Her entrance not only raised the standard of play, but also drew increased attention and scrutiny to the league. Some people, such as Teresa Weatherspoon, are having difficulty adjusting to their new world. Clark's effect, on the other hand, is a step forward for the WNBA as a whole, a look into a future in which women's basketball is given the credit it deserves. As supporters, we are fortunate to be here at this historic time. The 2024 WNBA season is shaping up to be one for the ages, with the playoffs promising even more drama, excitement, and memorable moments. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual spectator, now is the moment to tune in, because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are doing something unique.
Final few seconds. Caitlin Clark, a career-high night. The Fever put up 100 and take the series.
So as we prepare for the playoffs, let's continue the discourse. What do you think of Teresa Weatherspoon's reaction? How do you see the Caitlin Clark effect playing out in the postseason? Most importantly, who do you believe will come out on top? Please leave your opinions in the comments section below, and remember to subscribe to our channel for more WNBA news, analysis, and updates. The future of women's basketball looks brighter than ever, and Caitlin Clark is leading the way. The only issue is, who is ready to take on the challenge? Did you know that Caitlin Clark has seized the limelight in women's basketball, putting luminaries like Cheryl Swoops in the background? Yes, you heard it correctly. Caitlin Clark has become the buzz of the town, a household name, and the WNBA's brightest light. However, with that focus comes a barrage of criticism, and shockingly, some of the sharpest criticism has come from inside the same league she is revitalizing.
Here's Clark. Clark looking to take it around Lloyd. Clark bodies in and finishes.
Clark's contribution to the game is unquestionable. She's more than simply an excellent player. She's a game changer. She has been rewriting the record book since she first walked onto the court.
I think it's easy. Like, these people are my best friends, and like, that's not for show. Like, I seriously know, like, I'm not me without all of them, and they've had my back, and they do a lot of dirty work for me to be able to have the fun and take crazy shots.
And this is not an exaggeration. Every time she plays, she has a high possibility of setting a new standard, breaking a record, and taking the game to new heights.
Thank you everyone for being here. Like I said, I expect these crowds forevermore, because this is just the beginning for women's basketball here in the state of Iowa. Give it up for these women, these incredible seniors, and thank you for all that you've done.
However, her spectacular ascent has resulted in an equally intense surge of jealousy, and not only from her opponents. Surprisingly, some of this criticism has come from WNBA luminaries who, rather than recognizing Clark's accomplishments, seem to belittle them. Caitlin Clark's effect has contributed significantly to the WNBA's continued popularity. She has shown that women's basketball is just as interesting, competitive, and deserving of attention as any other sport, permanently altering the landscape of the WNBA. The league's future looks better than ever, and Caitlin Clark is leading the way. The WNBA has always been very competitive, with players putting their heart and soul into every game. But lately, the discussion surrounding the MVP award has reached a fever pitch. A'ja Wilson, one of the WNBA's brightest talents, went off on what she sees as a tremendous injustice in the MVP race: Caitlin Clark's rejection of the prize title. What followed was nothing short of explosive, as A'ja Wilson launched a rage, sending shockwaves across the WNBA and its fandom.
Kelsey Plum playing Caitlin Clark, no catch, meaning she's not trying to let her get it back.
In this video, we'll explore the events that occurred, including why A'ja Wilson lost her cool and the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark's rejection. So brace up as we discuss what may be one of the most dramatic moments in WNBA history. To understand why A'ja Wilson's response was so strong, we must first accept her role in the WNBA. Since being selected as the first overall choice by the Las Vegas Aces in 2018, A'ja has been nothing short of exceptional. Her aggressive playing style, ability to dominate in the paint, and leadership characteristics have earned her a household name. Wilson, a two-time MVP and Olympic gold medalist, has constantly been in contention for the league's top honors. Wilson's intense competition and constant desire for achievement distinguish her as a great athlete. However, they also led to her angry response to Caitlin Clark's elimination from the MVP contest. Wilson's aggravation spilled out in a spectacular fashion as he understood the pressure and grandeur of winning the MVP award.
Indiana Fever rookie sensation, Caitlin Clark. It's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for league MVP honors. She ain't beating A'ja Wilson for the MVP.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has been surging to the forefront of the WNBA discourse. Clark was drafted by the Indiana Fever and joined the league with lofty hopes, and she has not disappointed. Caitlin Clark, known for her exceptional shooting range, court awareness, and ability to score from nearly anywhere, has made a significant impact in her first season. Many fans and commentators anticipated her not only to win Rookie of the Year, but also to be a strong contender for MVP.
A little step-up action right here.
Austin gets it back to Clark, sidesteps Howard, she will launch and knock down a three.
Clark's ability to perform well under pressure distinguishes her from other athletes. Whether it's hitting three-pointers from beyond the arc or providing clutch assists, she's constantly shown she can carry her team through the most difficult games. Despite this, Caitlin Clark's outstanding accomplishments did not transfer into MVP accolades this season, which has prompted great criticism, particularly among players such as A'ja Wilson.
The WNBA, she's just the fourth player to shoot at least 70% from three-point range on at least 20 three-point attempts.
The WNBA MVP award is one of the most coveted in the league. The award is given to the player regarded most important to their team's success, which is frequently determined by a mix of individual numbers, team performance, and on-court leadership. This year, however, the battle for MVP got acrimonious, with players, fans, and pundits all disputing who should win the title.
Caitlin Clark. There's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for league MVP honors. She ain't beating A'ja Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way. Quick hitter number 3 goes to Chicago Sky rookie forward Angel Reese.
A'ja Wilson was once again in contention for MVP following another outstanding season. However, many believe that Caitlin Clark, despite being a rookie, had played at an MVP caliber level, making her a viable contender for the title.
And that's what the worst of cynics and critics do. And so you knew they were going to come for you. You had to know that. Now, to the degree that they're doing so, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. But keep your spirits up, because you're at a decisive advantage, Angel Reese. You're at a decisive advantage because they made the mistake of letting you know who they are, whoever those people are. And now you have perfect justification for keeping people at bay and not letting people too close where they could potentially hurt you. It's something most people usually learn when they get older. You learned it younger, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing.